So it is Tuesday, July 2nd. I'm Crystal Kennedy, one of the co-chairs. This is the Community and Economic Development Committee meeting. And we will go ahead and, do you have a roll call or do we want, okay.
Yeah. So,
do that, please.
Mr. Weddleton, Ms. Kennedy,
Here.
Mr. Peterson,
Present.
Ms. Salatel,
Here.
Mr. Constant, Mr. Dunbar. Chair, there is not a quorum, so no action can be taken.
Thank you very much. Okay, so, but we do have people here with us to talk about one of the applications, and that looks like the Alaska Slow Burn Cannabis. So if you all want to join us up here, and please introduce yourselves for the record. And, well,
Good morning. I am Lou Weaver. I am the owner of AK Slow Burn.
Good morning, General Dean, attorney for AK Slow Burn.
I'm Chris Owens, and I am Lou Weaver's minion at AK Slow Burn.
okay, thank you. Okay, so Mandy and Ryan, if you want, whichever one of you wants to start and let us know where we're at, that'd be great.
Go ahead with the licensing review. So AK Slow Burn Cannabis, this is for a retail license application. All of the licensing restrictions were addressed in their operating plan. There weren't any taxes, fees, or fines found due by any of the licensees or affiliates. They addressed all of the safety and security standards and requirements in their operating plan as well. And all of the retail facility specific requirements were also addressed. There were no additional conditions recommended for the license.
Okay, all right, thank you. Ryan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Request for a special land use permit for a marijuana retail sales establishment within a B3 district. The site is located northwest of the intersection of Tudor Road and Needle Circle. The proposed establishment will be located within an existing commercial structure. Approximately 1,295 square feet of available building space will be dedicated to marijuana retail. And this establishment will be open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. until midnight. Closest protected land use is a religious assembly, and that's the First Church of God along Tudor Road. It's approximately 930 feet away. There are unresolved issues with the proposed landscaping plan as well as the parking lot layouts, including accessible pathway to the front entrance and a pedestrian pathway connection to an abutting right-of-way. And these items are addressed in conditions 7 and 8. And this use is consistent with the Anchorage 2040 land use plan. The provided site plans do not show any major alterations to the building facade or structure that make it up to similar character, scale, or size when compared to surrounding structures. And the planning department recommends approval of special land use permits subject to the conditions as stated in the staff report. And I will also add that the applicant kind of went above and beyond. They reached out to the Campbell Park Community Council, which is outside of their area. They're in the Tudor Area Community Council. So they have an MOU with Tudor Area Community Council as well as Campbell Park Community Council. The Tudor Road is the border. So this will be submitted as an AIM to the packet for public review and for the rest of the assembly members.
Okay, thank you. Questions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the Tudor Memorandum of Agreement, there's some talk about parking lot flow and direction. Is that something that we would typically put in the AO, or is that something that we just want to leave as an understanding between the community council and establishment? Because I was at the community council meeting, and traffic is the number one thing on their mind, and safe ingress and egress of any business along Tudor is an extreme concern. So
I think just to correct, you're talking about the Campbell Park memorandum?
Did I say Campbell Creek?
Yeah, you said
Sorry.
Tudor. But so we put on here dependent on the approval from the municipality's traffic engineer, because I just don't know what Stephanie's gonna think about directing and signage, so that's what we put for here.
So my thought was, it says resolve with traffic on conditions 7 and 8, to resolve with traffic number 9 to mimic the language there at that last bullet.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion would be that this last bullet, conditions 7 and 8 kind of encompass that. so
They do?
it should be covered. It's just worded a little differently, but, you know, the traffic department's gonna be looking at signage, flow, making sure all the parking spaces are 9 by 20.
Big thing was the entrance and exit, not the spaces, that they enter, it's that last portion there that they only enter the facility from the east side of Tudor and only exit from the west side, and for the establishment to really facilitate that, because there is a street and a break in the median there where you could try to go across Tudor. And that is where the Tudor Community Council then has concern. I'm sorry, not Tudor, Kimball Park Community Council has concerns.
Yeah, the one thing that we wouldn't necessarily have control over is the fact that Tudor Road is a state right-of-way. And it's not a municipal right-of-way. So I do have it, some language in condition number 8 that says the last starts line 36.
Okay.
And if applicable, provide a driveway permit issued by Alaska Department of Transportation of all facilities for the expansion of Cliff Carroll and Tudor Road. So if there were to be any changes in access or the width of that curb cut, whether it's shrinking or expanding, they'd have to go back to DOT to have that resolved, to make sure the traffic flow is correct. If you wanted to be stricter than that, to say you can only do it in a certain manner, then that should be added to the AR.
Okay.
But I believe that it's going to be
I mean,
handled with the way
it was my
it's
understanding at the meeting, and kind of the intent of this is to make sure traffic only accesses from the east and goes back out the west. I mean, that was really a sticking point. And they can correct me if they think my perception is wrong. And so I'm happy to leave it in the discretion of the traffic engineer about how to ensure that that happens, but I think that language needs to be in the AR, just so that, I mean, that was the primary concern. I think if that wouldn't have been addressed, we would have probably an objection to the application, even though I know it's not the community council.
I could potentially think of an amendment, maybe something that would say, this is the preferred alternative.
I'm okay, and I squarely want to leave it within traffic's purview, but I think that really would capture the primary objection from the community about really any business going in there, but any business that will generate traffic.
Okay. I can discuss that with the traffic department.
Okay, thank you.
And we're agnostic about it. I mean, we agree to it with the community council. We just wanted to make sure it was done correctly.
Mr. Peters.
Thank you, Madam Chair, but technically it would be illegal for a person to make that turn. It would be dangerous possibly, depending on how thick the traffic was and what time of day it was.
Oh, life-threatening.
No, I mean,
Gotta be brave.
I've tried to cross Tudor Road going the wrong, trying to go against traffic many times, so, yeah. And, I mean, you could, put a sign in the store that said, please exit out of, the west side or whatever of the
Yeah,
parking
we're
lot.
looking at, do we want to put it inside the store, or do we want to have it in signage or in print on the asphalt? I mean, what
Arrows.
Yeah, but we were thinking
Arrows,
the
yeah.
snow might be a problem. When snow comes, you won't be able to see it, so we're thinking a combo. But we wanted to get with Stephanie and see what she thought.
Yeah, the truth of the matter is, when traffic is heaviest, it backs up beyond that point anyway. The only option is going to be hanging a right out of there and heading west when it's the heaviest and most dangerous. So, yeah, I think that we'll do whatever works within the rules to properly direct traffic in and out of the lot.
All right, so we want to see that traffic report or assessment before we see this. Or do you have amendments that you may
So-
want to make, or you want to see that report first?
If you want to email me
Yeah.
what the conclusion is, then I'll make a decision if
Okay.
an amendment makes sense or not.
Okay. Because I do believe this is on for the 9th.
Yes.
Correct, okay. All righty. Any other questions? comments?
So,
Mr. Houston?
thank you, Madam Chair. I was just looking to see if there was other licenses. This is, how far is Canabasca from this?
Quite a ways.
Three
mile.
quarters of a mile,
A mile.
something like that.
Okay.
Canabasca down on
Probably more.
Minnesota and Tudor.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm trying to place where Grape Street is. I don't remember turning on Grape Street on Tudor before.
This location is near the, I guess, the fire department on Tudor Road.
Oh,
Probably
okay.
the closest landmark, and the bingo hall.
Yeah.
And then
McKinnon
Yeah,
is
I
the
know where the fire department is.
Yeah, Canabasca is by Hardwick.
Yeah. I think the New Great Northern location is gonna be closer.
7.75 miles.
So that's 0.7, so it's about the
Yeah.
same distance then.
It's the old voodoo location.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I know where that is.
All right. So, not seeing any other questions or comments. So, again, because we don't have a quorum, we're not making any recommendation. I mean, this will obviously be on the agenda on the 9th, and depending on how Mrs. Allentel feels about the information coming forward, there could be amendments at that point. But I'm sure we would be informing you of that potential as well. So at this point, we'll just say thank you very much, and we're moving forward, but without a recommendation from the committee. So, thank you. And it looks like we don't have our other order of business here with Studio 428K. Oh, go ahead.
I do think, the applicant is not here, but I do think it is worthwhile discussing because this
Okay.
case will involve a postponement that the applicant is aware of. And in defense of the applicant, I believe that's why they're not here today, is because they're under the understanding that it was going to be postponed.
Okay. And, all right, and if they're comfortable with us talking about this, I mean, again, we're not gonna make any recommendations, but if you just wanna fill us in on where we're at with that, I guess there's some
Sure.
value to that. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and pull that one up, the Studio 428K. So,
Okay.
Do you want me to do the license review for this one also?
See you later.
Are they gonna come back to the
Call
committee?
Sandy.
well, if it's gonna be postponed, we're probably gonna
They'll
see
come
it
back
in
to
this
the
committee again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you would like to, you're certainly welcome. If you wanna just.
I'll wait until they're here.
Okay, let's do that then, so.
Sure. Yeah, so the reason for the postponement is this application was taken in, it was deemed complete, but it was discovered that after we had deemed it complete, that they didn't have authorization from the property owner. This is kind of a unique situation where the building is owned by one entity and the property is owned by another. So they have authorization from the building owner, but they don't have authorization from the property owner. And there was some discussion at the fact that the building owner has been given authorization to lease to whichever party they see fit from the property owner, but legally they need authorization from all property owners. And they have not obtained authorization from the property owner, and the property owner has some concerns about liability of having a marijuana shop on their property. So given those concerns, we feel that it's most appropriate to postpone this. The work has already been done, the analysis has been done. It's ready for prime time whenever they get that authorization. But until we get that, we feel it's appropriate to just postpone the case.
Okay. Any other questions then for that? So, I noticed, and actually I guess I can kind of understand the owner's concern because reading that document that was sent in by one of the other people that's involved with that and all of the police reports for that local area was kind of interesting. But anyway, so is that actually some kind of legal formality, or he can just write a letter and say he has my permission? Do you know anything about that particular documentation?
We've provided the applicant with sample language. It's just a matter of getting that signature.
Okay. So, all right, well then, we'll consider ourselves updated at this point, and this one is postponed. So we're really not taking any action on it anyway. And unless there is any other questions or comments, I
Do
would
we-
say,
Do we know when our next meeting for this committee is?
Mandy can tell us of that. I don't know that I have it on my calendar.
18?
18.
Is it the, that's right, it's
Yeah.
the 18th, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and it'll be back to normal time. This was just our weird one for the holiday.
The 9 a.m. All right, so next meeting, 18th at 9 o'clock. Same place. So, all right, thank you all. We're adjourned.
All right, happy 4th.